Good morning, you're listening to 92.7 Arrow FM, and this is the Nothing Personal Show. It's sponsored by Fuzzbox Designs and Hot Yoga for You. And incidentally, in the studio this morning, we've got Shari from Hot Yoga for You with her partner Shane. Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Nikki.
Oh, sorry, I forgot your mics. Do you want to say good morning again?
Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Nikki.
Now, I'm going to apologise to my guests this morning because I've been sick over the weekend, so my voice is a little bit croaky. I had to actually bow out of the Talent Wairarapa MC job that I had, but good old Ron Markey actually stood in for me and did an excellent job. That was a fantastic event. It sold out, so good on Rotary. Rotary, you did a really good job there. Organising Talent Wairarapa. There's loads and loads of good feedback from the audience saying what a great show it was and how much talent that we actually had over in Wairarapa. And this morning it's pretty windy, so be careful out there if you're driving and listening. There's trees down in Greytown and it's really windy everywhere, so I hope you snugged in somewhere warm and listening to this, and if you're re-watching it later, I hope you're safe in your homes and enjoying the day, because it's lovely and sunny. It's just that windy.
It's windy.
It's windy. What did you?
Yes.
Didn't get hit by any trees coming down here then?
We've got a lot of trees around us, but they protect us.
I had a small branch in the garden. That was the drama in my house. Just one small branch. But the dog thinks that the world is ending because it's windy. It's turned into a ball of jelly. I hope it doesn't escape and get out, because when it gets out, it opens the door and things like that. So if you see a dog wandering around Fleet Street, it's mine. So good morning, Shari.
Morning.
So for anybody that doesn't know, do you want to introduce your business?
Hi, Shari, and we've got the lovely business in Kurupuni, is the Hot Yoga for You studio. So we are there 7 days a week with a variety of yoga, and mainly in the heat.
Yes.
It's yummy.
Yeah, that's nice. Especially in this weather, you could go and do some really relaxing yoga in. So how hot is it? 33
to 34 degrees, just depending on day, number of people in the class. And with the humidity, it makes for a beautiful pleasantness on the body.
Does that help the joints move?
Oh yeah, joints and the breath.
Oh, lovely. I could just go there. So Jane, we haven't had you on the show before, but we've had Shari. So do you want to tell me? And do you know what? I'm going to tell you now. You're the first man. So congratulations.
It sounds precious.
It is. Just come closer to the mic a little bit.
Great.
Cool. Yeah. So tell us what you do.
So basically, I do acupuncture, or traditional Chinese medicine. So it's acupuncture is one aspect of it. There's the herbal medicines, and also the massage, tuina, and qigong, tai chi, that side of things. And so I talk about movement and just bringing in, I think, a better understanding of yourself.
Yes. From
a traditional perspective, be it Chinese or Asian, or there's a lot of, I think, traditional medicines out there that are really applicable nowadays. So.
Yeah, I was watching a program last night actually about our diet and how, like, we've forgotten all these traditional things that we used to do. And I actually think there's a lot in these things that have been carried down through generations.
Yes, yeah, a lot of those established old wives' tales or habits, patterns, I think really are applicable in just managing our lives, because they're so full nowadays. So
yeah, they are.
Finding things that'll bring a bit of calmness, get the gut flora right and things like that. So
yeah, that's right. And just before the show, he was trying to ease my chest. I was enjoying that. We nearly didn't have a show. So yeah, I can see how that would apply. It would appeal. Mm-hmm. Yes, definitely. I'm definitely going to go have some of that treatment. So, and whereabouts are you operating from, Shane?
So what I did initially, I've had a few different clinics, but at this stage we're from home.
Oh, that's cool.
And it's beautiful because it means that we have some flexibility. We just wanted to explore and see how we, Shari and I, and Liv, as a couple and family, could create the lifestyle that we like without some of the pressures and having to zip here and leave, actually step out of each other's. So it's just given us flexibility to plan and enjoy each other's life and company.
Yeah.
So working from home. And also trying to create a natural environment where people feel safe opposed to something quite sterile. Which has just been a bit of an agenda on my part. I just think so much of our our therapies have become so sterile and disconnected with each other.
Yeah, I can appreciate that.
And it's challenging because so much of it is done under time constraints. But so that's part of mine and our agenda is to create a comfortable environment where people can come and it sits well both for me as a practitioner and for a client. I think being able to just be relaxed and hopefully express themselves in a natural way opposed to being in a sterile, slightly tense environment.
Yeah, so, we're accustomed to going to people's premises, aren't we? But I work from home, and I think people do like coming to my home. And it's not sort of because I'm a tech person. Going into a tech office is probably like going to a doctor. You're quite frightened of what the terminology and stuff like that. And I think if you are in a home situation, you get a coffee and you've got a sofa to sit on. And I found actually in the last 2 weeks that it's been very beneficial from being sick, where I can go and sit on the sofa and just do a bit of work there and then sit at my desk. And I people where I've been to go and visit them at home, it is a different environment. It's really calming. It's nice because it's their space and they feel relaxed as well. Yeah, cool. So, Shari, what you got going on at Hot Yoga then? Because you're actually one of our sponsors, aren't you?
I am. Yay. Blessed to be.
Yeah, thank you.
So, yes, we're actually gearing up for a few things for June. So, end of May into June. And we've got our 40-day challenge starting. And we do that about once a year. And it is always a lovely time to support that energy of people having a little bit more focus into the practice of yoga. And that's really what it's about. It's not about having to be at yoga for 40 days, for over 40 days. It is bringing a deeper awareness, coming to the studio practice and for themselves at home. If you deepen the practice at a studio, the potential's there to start looking into what you can do at home. So the studio, the teachers, we support that. And we get a little bit excited around it, and there can be some nice little internal competitiveness in amongst it, which I was really amazed about when I did my very first one about 5 years ago. Some nice little competitive natures in amongst it, but it adds to a little bit of fun. So it's all good.
That's right. And I think, sometimes you need a little bit of competition in life to sort of push you to do a little bit better, don't you?
It's
as long as it doesn't get out of hand. You get all these ladies going, oh. No, that's just me being funny. Had too much coffee this morning.
Just to get you going.
Yeah. My son offered to make me a coffee, which is interesting in itself. So I was like,
Did you drink it?
I did drink it.
Okay, you're good mum.
Yeah.
You're good mum.
Coffee. Yeah. So the 40-day challenge. So what does that involve? It sounds interesting.
What does it involve? The students just register their names on a chart, and then they just plot their classes as they come into the class. And so it is about their focus, and the classes are as we have per normal on the timetable. And so it is, again, it's just being in the practice more often.
Yeah.
And the changes that it makes with that evolves into another level again. And they know that. They share those things afterwards.
Oh, cool.
It's lovely.
Yeah, that's a cool thing. So coming over to you, Shane. So what sort of people come to you what sort of ailments do they come to you with? What can you treat with Chinese or with all the things that you offer?
So I think most people recognise acupuncture and the ability to change pain or influence pain. But there are most ailments we can have an influence over.
Yeah.
And so it's not limited. It's more, I think, what we've been educated to think that acupuncture can help with. So given the timing and being able to stimulate a person's body in the right way, we can have an influence over so many different issues.
Yeah.
I suppose anything from sleep and anxiety through to menstrual pain, all those different things that have become quite normal in our stressed lives.
Yeah, that's right.
If we can understand the mechanism in the person's body, then within the medicine that I've studied, often there's tools to be able to apply and hopefully in the time frame. I think that's the thing, so many of us want to just pop a pill
Yeah, that's right. And have it
the
fixed
body
completely.
Yeah. And so it deals with the symptoms, but doesn't always address the cause.
No.
And so if we can influence the cause, it's lovely. But my main practice is I think, a lot of trauma and injuries, strains, and the other aspect is stress, which often tension.
Yeah, that can cause pain in itself,
Exactly,
isn't it?
yeah.
I tend to get a lot of shoulder pain if I'm pretty stressed. I don't know, on one side. So it must be that I just hunch in a particular way when I'm quite stressed out, or when it must be when I'm working and I'm leaning, or something that I'm not doing correctly. Some posture, which probably yoga will help with. Which I keep meaning to get along. I keep getting sickness and things happening and things getting in the way, but I definitely am going to come and get some, because somebody else suggested yoga might be actually good for positioning. But so I had a friend that had some somebody I know had some Chinese medicine that actually got rid of some allergies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the herbal side of things, there are, in my case, I just use patent formulas, but I do have contacts with your raw herbs, which are often a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And so the patent formulas allow us to influence a nature in the body.
Yeah.
And so it's just like having food, but on a therapeutic sense. So you're putting plants that have an action, so they can be quite warming, just like something like ginger or cinnamon. And all of a sudden that changes the relationship in that digestive area. And they've found, well, Chinese studies have come up with such... through observation, so many changes can take place just through introducing a component, say warming or cooling, into the body, and the body actually responds.
Oh, that's cool. That's fascinating. Yeah. So do you do a lot of research? Do you find that fascinating?
So I do. I find that's I think what I love about it is everybody's different, and for me, the curiosity of trying to understand us. What's going on in my own body as much as anybody else, and being present, being aware, exploring how to be aware and informed, and I think starting to undo some of the habits that aren't that good for us.
Yeah, because that's the hard thing, isn't it? Changing your lifestyle. Because I was talking to another person about diet. It was Teresa, I think, from Intrinsic Performance, and she was saying how much that can influence your body, what you put into it. So I'm going to be and getting well. I'm going to focus on that. That's my big goal this year. So I'm sick of being sick. So that's pretty cool. So you've got some other things coming up leading into there at your studio in Kurapuni.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have on the shortest day, the winter solstice, the International Free Yoga Day.
Yeah.
And it's global, quite global. Started probably more in 2015 when the Indian, I suppose, what do you call him, Prime Minister, announced at one of the obviously global gatherings that he wanted to really influence yoga into communities, and that it needs to be looked at in a greater awareness. And with that, there was really a band and influence globally of cities and communities that said, well, let's celebrate this at this time of the year. So we have been gifted the use of a beautiful hall down in Johnson Street, opposite Makora College. And we've used the hall before, and it's just a stunning hall. It can sit 250 people. We've yet to measure the mats, but I'm sort of guessing definitely over 100 mats.
Yes.
And so we're going to combine a class, myself and another teacher, Mark Hall, at 5:30 on the afternoon, on the Thursday, the 21st of June.
Oh, nice! And,
yes.
And so this is a big group of people coming together.
Yeah, it's free for all. So it's come along, bring your mats, or borrow a mat, or let me know if you need a mat. And it's just to gather and come together and yoga influence.
Yeah.
And just really bringing that peace, community, mind, influence and movement, you know,
Yes.
just really understanding what it is to start moving in your body again and breathing. And so really looking forward to that, you know, just to open the doors a little more. And we're going to it'll be a free yoga day in the studio anyway.
Yeah.
But this end of day class, we're just moving out of the studio for more space
Yeah.
because we want to make it available.
Yep.
Yeah.
And can any level?
Anyone. Any level. It will be done at a lovely, easy level.
Ooh,
But
well,
have
I
a
might
little
have
bit
to
of fun.
come to that one then.
You're going to come to that one. You know, we can all stand and move and breathe.
24th of June?
21st.
21st
Yep,
of June.
the winter
Right,
solstice,
okay.
shortest day.
And do you need to bring your own mat?
Ideally, but you know, thing about if you need a mat, we can arrange them there.
So just get in touch.
Yeah,
In
we'll have a
beforehand.
sack of mats there.
All right. Okay. Okay. Because I don't have one yet.
Yeah.
See, I haven't started yet. I am going to. I promise, Mum.
She does. The promise is on board.
Yeah, it's there now on the screen. I'm going to come along to the yoga. I'm definitely it's something that I really want to. I think I need to. I think business women. This is the thing. We're very business people. We tend to be very busy. We don't think about being present and thinking about ourselves, really. Do you find a lot of your clients are a bit like that? They're running around and they're not really thinking about themselves.
It's usually not until an event happens of issues, and then they start to come inside themselves, or they reach for the quick pill.
Yeah.
But when it keeps happening, and that's when they start to question the events and why, and often it does. It comes back to we have such full lives, and we actually don't take time for ourselves, quality time.
No, that's
time
right.
to be together, time to actually sit down and talk from here, opposed to the
That's right,
generic side
yeah.
of things. And those sorts of conversations we need to be expressing and exploring ourselves all the time. But
Yes.
we're so caught up in the external factors that our lives are being filled with, and we feel we're supposed to behave in a certain way, I think, to
Yeah. I'd
try
agree
and
with
make-
that, actually. I used to consider myself a conversationalist. I mean, I do a lot of talking, but actually having good, deep conversations. It's my sort of personality. When you go into those Myers-Briggs things, my personality type is a debater. So I'm a bit of a, you know, I'd like to sort of be a bit of a devil's advocate, you know, and, you know, I miss those. Because we've got on social media, I think we've lost that art of deeper conversation. I think that's an interesting thing. Perhaps there's some kind of therapy that you can do that's that kind of thing as well. Because I remember when I went to Beryl, because I knew you with Beryl, Roshi, I don't think she's practising at the moment, but when she actually asked me a load of questions when I went to have some cranial what was it? It's,
craniosacral.
yeah, craniosacral therapy. She asked me whether my relaxing style was conversational or quiet, and the good thing was I said that I like talking, and that was the kind of thing that relaxed me while I was having that therapy. And she was really good at that. Good listener. Very good. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's a cool thing. So what I'm going to do now, I've got a load of new music that I found over the weekend, and not at Talent Wairarapa, although that was fantastic. A young lad who did Michael Jackson dancing won the 14 and under thing called Callum Armstrong, and he was amazing. He was self-taught completely on YouTube. I mean, social media can be a curse and a blessing, you know.
Yeah.
Definitely informed. Yeah.
Yeah, you know,
Yes,
it's
yeah.
like, and this guy, it's just amazing. Brought the house down, and I was second place, and there was 2 second places. There was a Geraldine Inder dance group called Faith, who were
Yes.
amazing,
Yep.
and AAA. I think they came runner up as well. Beautiful, beautiful harmonies. Must be quite therapeutic to be able to sing those together as well. Yeah, they're amazing. Anyway, I didn't find my music there. It was these are some they were sent to me over the weekend, and I thought I'd play a tune by a band called Racing. I think I've played them on here before, but I found this tune today, and it's called The Bass, and I was playing it this morning just to give it a go, and my youngest boy goes, "Oh, that's funky." I said, "Should I play it this morning?" He goes, "Yes." So this is for Eddie. This is for my boy Eddie, and it's called The Bass by Racing, and it goes a bit like this.
Show what you can.
Hello, you're listening to 92.7 RFM, and this is the Nothing Personal show, which is sponsored by Hot Yoga for You and Fuzzbox Designs Limited. Hot Yoga is over in Kirapuni, and they've got lots and lots of classes. You can head over to the website, hotyogaforyou.co.nz, and I think that's right, isn't it, Sherry?
It
is, definitely. And you can even go to the old one now, and it goes to the new one. And Fuzzbox, Fuzzbox does websites, graphics, social media, all
She's
that.
awesome.
No. So we're talking to Sherry Joy Smith and Shane Orr this morning, and this is the first. We've got a man today. Hello, Shane. But the thing is, what inspired me to bring both of them on is that a lot of businesses thrive on a partnership, and you guys are partners, aren't you? Together, I know you've got separate businesses, but you're both heading in the same direction, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and it's nice because I know that in my business, even though my partner's not in it full time, he's a big support to me. So, do you do that for each other? Do you find each other supporting each other's practice?
Yeah,
I think it's really important. We plan a lot of our days and even the weeks and things around each other to try and have those quality times or enable us to a little bit of spare time to keep on top of things too.
Yeah.
So it's just essential for it. It's great.
Yeah,
it is.
We're lucky.
And we do have a lot of people that come through the studio who I suppose have been what I call a go-to for many questions in regards to health. I suppose being in my previous practice as a neuromuscular massage therapist and being in the community for so long, born and raised here, gone away, come back, and you sort of kind of forget maybe the number of people that you've encountered along that journey. So, and even though I've retired the hands, I'm still that sort of go-to. So it's lovely that I can kind of guide people or give them those options and availability when something is pressing on them. Generally, it might be around injury or something's happened. And so that's where we do crossover, you know, with Shane and I. And it's lovely. It's great. And usually sometimes there's another modality that they do need to really set it right. But, we do. We support one another in what we do. Shane's at the yoga studio himself for himself, practicing his own practice, and that's important for him as well, keeping his balance of lifestyle.
Yes.
And, of course, when I just need that tweak from all my war injuries, broken up many times, I need that little influence from him as well. We've still got to look out for one another.
That's right. So before we started, you were giving me a massage that would help with my chest. So what kind of massage is that called again?
So in Chinese medicine, it's known as tuina.
Yeah, it's very good.
Well, it uses the same theories that all, I suppose, traditional Chinese medicine's based on.
Yeah.
And we look at the body as its nature.
Yes.
And so what we try and interact with is the channels and points are the things that we were taught in our theories. And so tuina is the manipulation of certain points and their association with organs.
Yes.
And then what you're aiming to do is stimulate the organs to start to perform better, or the thoroughfares that make up the body's pathways, jingla, they're just channels that...
So is that a bit like acupuncture in itself, where you can get spots and that affects different parts of the body? Yeah.
So often with with tuina, it's subtler, and I suppose for me, there's an intimacy with touch, which allows you to feel and do so much more than sometimes what a needle will do.
Yeah,
and
you can feel things through your hands.
Yes, and so that's what tuina. It's overall therapy. You can literally do the same, or if not very similar things to what needles and even some of the herbal influences can achieve. So we don't always have to use needles. They enable me to then take my hands and maybe focus on another area of your body,
Right.
or just allow you to be. Sometimes just to actually have people on the table with a couple of needles
Yeah.
and relaxing is so therapeutic for them.
Yeah,
some
yeah,
time out.
yeah. It is, because I used to enjoy craniosacral therapy for that, because it made me present just for an hour, just to relax. It gave me permission.
Yeah.
You know, and as well as that, I think there's something that Beryl was doing called the bars technique. Now, I'm going to be honest, I was very sceptical before I met Beryl, but that technique was very good. Yeah, where it was like clearing the mind of all these things. I have so much going on. I'm a creative, you know. So yeah, it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed that a whole hour. So yeah, I miss Beryl a little bit. Perhaps I have to come and see you instead.
Totally. Well, it's interesting with your with Shane and my learnings and the crossing over.
Yeah.
And I was recently on a 3-day yoga training in Wellington with a chap called Truth Robinson, and he has the same background as Shane, but a yogi influenced strongly through yoga. So he was actually taking this course in regards to when we're doing our lovely restorative yin class and stretches, that we are now looking at what we're influencing in these pathways.
Yep.
So now I've been able to draw upon that knowledge.
Yep.
And when we're doing a particular stretch, that I am aware now that stretch will influence, say, the kidney channel. And so this has been a lovely bringing together in the yin classes, that we're influencing, maybe just even in that one session through a series of poses, that we're actually opening, contributing to the fluidness channels and these meridians. And so it's amazing that we're crossing over through the knowledge, and it's being utilised back into the yoga studio, which is great.
Well, that's just fascinating. So, do you do quite a lot of professional development with yoga?
Ideally ongoing.
Yeah.
I mean,
nothing's ever finished, is it?
Nothing. And the thing is, I mean, I'd love to just step off the ladder and just go and be with some of these wonderful people that are out there.
Yeah.
And they do get to New Zealand occasionally. We're very fortunate that is growing, that envelope is growing for us in our back garden, so to speak.
Yeah, New Zealand's such a lovely place to come to.
Yeah. So that is changing for us. But yes, you want to be constantly skilling and offering the knowledge more and more. It just deepens your own practice to be able to then bring that depth to everyone else.
So you mentioned earlier you've got something going on this week.
Yes. So we've got Teresa Dixon.
Yep.
Making sure I got that right.
Yes.
Lovely, bubbly personality.
Yeah, great. She's a breath of fresh air.
She is. So she's beamed into the studio and looking to start her business out of the yoga studio. It's just a matter of, like anything new area, building up the footprint with clients.
Yes.
And so this Friday we're doing a small gathering of our local therapists that I connect with, of all levels. And we're just going to be having this lovely intro for Teresa, and she's just going to share who she is, her knowledge, and then from there, ideally she'll be in the studio.
Okay, yeah, cool.
And offering her beautiful skills.
Yeah.
She's amazing.
She's really good, isn't she?
She is, yeah.
So she's a boon for your studio.
Yeah, it just brings another level. You know, it's people, especially in the sporting arena, if, you're trying to keep at your optimum.
Yes.
And her skill level of knowledge there, and her testing and so on. And she's very, very open in the whole knowing of, referring where needed and so forth. So it'll be a lovely combination with the yoga and Katrina that's there massaging.
Yes.
And knowing all of the rest of the therapists. So it's really opening the door for her and us to get to know her more.
Yeah, because she's quite skilled in not only massage, but she's also skilled in nutrition, isn't she? And optimal performance.
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Because just from she came to see me the other week for some help, and she's like, "Oh, you should drink some more water and stand up every so often." So I've been following. Teresa, if you're watching, I have been following what you told me to do. I've been drinking more water, and I think that's why I've got over this a little bit quicker than I usually do, because I've been more hydrated. Cheers, Teresa. So yes, drink more water is the thing.
That's what I hear you saying a lot.
Yeah, do you advocate that as well?
Oh, yeah.
It's essential. We're made up of it.
Exactly.
And I don't think we realise some of these, at the start we talked about some of the old traditional, like old wives' tales, but water and breathing properly, things that actually slow us down and hydrate, give us the essence, our actual needs. So breathing through the stomach instead of these little shallow breaths, it massages all the organs. Drinking enough water actually hydrates the mind, so it starts to be a little calmer. The tissue then it changes. The vessels become soft because the blood, my understanding, is actually slightly less. It's more viscous.
Yeah,
it thickens if it coagulates.
Yeah,
compared to what it would be if we're completely hydrated.
Yeah,
and so there's all these functions that are so important, but we compromise ourselves because I don't have time to go to the toilet and have water, those sorts of things, because it's inconvenient. But our body then suffers.
Yeah,
and that's huge to actually realise that we actually need to change those priorities.
And we're not listening to our bodies, because I don't often think about drinking. I don't feel thirsty, but I do if I listen. If I just sit for a minute and think, I am thirsty. Yes,
that parched nature
it drips and
is
drips
a really
right.
late sign of
exactly.
hydration. Well, dehydration.
Exactly, and the breathing thing I can definitely vouch for, because when I'm not singing or playing the trumpet, I don't feel healthy because I'm using these muscles down here to breathe.
And it does, it massages all the organs, so all of a sudden your organs, when they move, the actual blood starts to circulate better in the organ, then it performs better, and we get more out of the food, and so you get all these wonderful outcomes.
And I actually had a book actually one of the teachers, it was a conductor guy, Robert Priday, gave us a book about breathing for the trumpet. And most of it was just about breathing before you even got to the instrument, learning how to control your breath from down here, because that's really, really important. And actually, the trumpet is a really wonderful instrument for that, because before you even pick up the instrument, my old teacher from England, Ronnie, before he even let me touch the instrument, I had to learn how to breathe, because it's all about breath with a trumpet completely, and it's very physical. People think, just playing da-da-da-da-da. It's all coming from down here, right in your stomach, and you can feel quite tired after you've been playing. It's an effort, because you're using muscles rather than this bit of you here. So it's fascinating, isn't it, what the body does, and how it does it. And the trumpet is just the amplification of what you're doing down from here, and so all sorts of things you can do with your throat to alter the pitch of the instrument. So it's very, very interesting. So trumpet players, yoga, breathing, it'd be great for those guys. And the kids, they don't always get taught that when they come to the brass band. They don't anyway, and it's like, your breath is the important thing,
So it's foundational things.
Just your body is more important.
Yes.
Than being able to do all this. This can come.
If it's not working, then so many other things are just slightly impaired. Yeah,
and then from learning that, if you're a singer, that allows you to project more, because you're using your breath from down here. So there's lots and lots of things that you guys practice that can help musicians.
Yes.
Yeah, so if you're out there, go and have some yoga. Awesome, and so that massage has actually made me feel a little bit better.
Fantastic.
It's interesting.
It can be such simple things if we just can listen to the body.
So that's cool. So what other things do you practice? You said Chinese medicine and the massage.
So the other areas in traditional Chinese medicine that are really that I work with are Qigong and Tai Chi. I admit I haven't been doing much Tai Chi, but the Qigong is, I think, the simplest way to think about that is there's internal and external, and one's about movement. It's not much different to what you'd be doing with yoga, in that when you learn to move, or you do move, there's interactions. There's whether it's just tissue and energy.
Yep.
Creates movement, creates in turn a change or a return to a natural state. And so Qigong, I suppose, is where it's would be perceived a little bit airy-fairy because it's not the seen aspect of medicine. Yet if you actually start to feel the textures just being present, you can feel yourself change. When I pushed the areas in your back, there were sensations that if we were present, there's a warmth, there's a softness, there's movement. And it's those sorts of things. Well, there's an interaction. We can be in a room and you can feel a tension. When you soften it or breathe correctly, you can feel that tension change.
Yes.
And that's what Qigong works with, is how to influence the nature that is existing and hopefully bring it into a more natural state. You're good. Something's going to blow up over there.
No, I don't know what that is. It's a phone or something. I think we just better ignore that, eh? I have no idea what to do when that happens. Sorry about that, guys. Oh, it could be somebody important.
really, yeah, I know. It could.
It could be Jacinda Ardern or something like that, asking, could you come on Nothing Personal? And I'll be like, no, I've missed it. I missed my one opportunity. Oh, well, it's stopped now. We've been having a few technical difficulties this month. Well, no, not difficulties, but, the wind is causing some issues. So, luckily we're fine. Hey, that's all good. So, yeah, but it is windy.
It is windy.
Yeah. And I was saying to the children on the way in, they're like, it's windy here. It's not like that in England, a little bit of wind. Sort of relate those tales back, from the home motherland,
Yeah.
They'd think this was like a hurricane or something. But we get this wind quite often in Wairarapa, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It can be.
Yeah, especially the nor'westers can be a very disconcerting, eh? When you get those, they're very desiccating winds. They make you quite dry. Yeah, it was quite interesting, and reading about the phone winds that come off the mountains and stuff. Very fascinating. So have we got any plans coming up for the future in hot yoga?
It's always evolving.
Yes.
The mind has many things in there that I've got to just either contain and work with, or just be patient a little bit, which Shane is always great about reminding me. Is just sometimes just step back and just see what evolves, rather than kind of pushing or forcing things.
Yeah.
And that's good for me. That is good for me. So I just like to kind of step back and just let it evolve a little bit more.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you a quick... So how did you meet, you guys? Go on.
How did we meet, honey?
Yeah, interesting question. Let's find out that.
So we actually did meet as a patient-therapist situation. Yeah. And so it was a little bit of a journey to walk that in a professional sense.
Yes.
But Shari came to me with some issues, just structurally, a shoulder issue, and I took some time and just showed, I suppose, the empathy for her and Livy, Shari's daughter, and we had a couple of appointments. And then thought it would be lovely to have a cup of coffee.
Oh, that's nice. Coffee's great, isn't it?
Yeah, and enable us to then step out of the professional and actually get to know each other. And so, and it was lovely. There was just a real ease, and
that's cool.
It is. It's something that.
And funnily enough, our paths, when we got to know one another, have actually
circled around each other.
Because the people that are around Shane, it's funny, isn't it, how life can be like that. We've been circling one another through people that we know really closely, and which is just amazing. Timing and the way that evolves and creates is, I always find just really fascinating.
Wairarapa's a bit like that, isn't it?
It's a small wee community, but
It is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, we did talent Wairarapa at the weekend, and that was, you just bump into all the people you know, because there's like 200 odd people in there.
Yeah.
Odds on you're going to know about 5 or 10% of them.
Yes, you will.
At a social function in Wairarapa, eh?
Yes, totally.
So you practice from home. Do you have a little space set up? And
So what we've done, we've got 2 living areas, and so one which has a beautiful outlook onto our rose garden and the front porch, and it just is basically the entryway. We've cordoned off, if you like, or closed off an area for the clinic space.
yeah.
And it's a lovely little. Well, it's not so little.
No, it's not so little.
It's a very pleasant space with lovely light.
Oh, that's
And
important.
just, it's a
I
beautiful
find.
feel. Yeah. And so I was a little apprehensive about initially starting at home because I didn't want to influence what we had in a negative way.
Yep.
And bringing in, I suppose, when you're dealing with people and many of their issues, sometimes that can be, it influences our life. But it's actually worked out great. And the space, I think, is really complementary.
Yeah.
It's the whole corner section where we live has a gorgeous energy. We're backing onto a reserve, and so all these things have come together to create a space where we're enjoying ourselves, or feel that there's it's not just what I do with the needles, but also the space and how we are in that space, and so.
And it's a space that we share more and more. And
that's cool.
We both kind of felt that when coming to the space 18 months ago, that we just felt it was a space that we could influence what we do.
Yeah.
And with that, it's amazing. We've got a beautiful German girl staying with us for most of this year.
Yeah.
And she's just lovely. And then we've had, through just people meeting us through the studio, a lovely chap staying with us for 4 months. And he's also been a beautiful influence to us and the family. And it's just been lovely. It's almost like that space has been there, that we are willing to open our hearts to sharing and influencing great knowledge in who we are and for Liv. It's great for her and what we do. And so, it's different and it's cool.
It was quite cool at the onset when looking at the property. It was, I now recall, it was something that I think was part of why we went down that road, was to share it, to have it as something that we would like to learn to be different. Both of us realise there are many things and habits that we've established or that are in our lives that we would like to be a little different, and part of it is to be a little more a part of a community, to share what we have and have others share with us, and it's a tiptoey journey because it's still a little bit awkward, I think, for me. I think we're quite private in some ways, and yet we really want to grow and be different. And so Keith, who was the young gentleman, he was into permaculture and things like that, and both of us would like to so having a lovely garden, doing a food forest type situation, starting to actually provide for ourselves so we're a little bit more self-sufficient, but understanding why too, and so having people come into our lives and being open to it, those qualities. And seeing what we learn. I
think that's really important, because everybody who touches your life touches you in a different way, don't you? Take something away. And I think I met someone once at, I think it was a Horiki Marae, and they were just saying that everybody who touches you leaves something with you. I think it was a Maori principle. It was really interesting, and I thought about that. What a cool, it's really nice. So I think that's really cool. you got those people coming in and out and influencing your life.
Yeah, and we do the 108 OMs every month from home. So again, we open our space for anyone to join us around the full moon cycle with the mantra Om.
Yeah.
And we just make this lovely gathering. Afterwards we share and a cuppa and space and lovely conversations and the experience.
Yeah.
And it's lovely. And anyone can rock up for that. It's good.
Oh, well, there you go. I'll have to remember that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you talk to some practitioners and you find that when you practice, you can actually take on board the energy of your patients. What do you do in your downtime, Shane? How do you deal with that?
One of the lovely things with traditional Chinese medicine is that it's been around so long, and they've explored or realised that energy and what people carry sometimes can influence the people we're working with.
Yeah.
And so there's tools. There are actual actions, reducing fears too. When we're fearful, there's this vulnerable state, but when we actually feel robust in ourselves, or at least try and attain that posture, those sorts of things can help shake off the weight of other people's issues or your own, and sometimes that's all it is making sure I'm staying here.
Yeah.
That I'm not getting caught up out there.
Yeah, that's right.
Because then when I'm here, I can usually be genuine, and often when we're genuine, there's a robustness with that. And so there's some actual physical tools too that they're just situations where people don't necessarily realise what we're interacting with, but there's a quality that's left in the house. And so there's smudging, simple things that we do at the studio, which is just basically taking sage leaves and burning them. Even just oils can be beautiful, just to soften. We've got these beautiful crystal bowls and a couple of other singing bowls, and so we look at how to keep the environment alive, sparkly. Plants, they all play a little role, and we've got a beautiful open fire and things like that. So and they keep life in the house, opposed to it being sterile. Like I said at the start, so opening the door too, letting fresh air in. It's funny, isn't it? Just
getting the flow going,
jumping around a little bit. Actually, so movement is just another way of sometimes making sure that you're actually letting go of our daily stuff.
Yeah, that's right. You were talking about that, I think, last time I had you on the show, where you can go down to the bottom of your garden. That was you, wasn't it? And just take that can be yoga, just being present for that 5 minutes and resetting your head.
Putting those feet in the ground.
Cool.
Or lying on it.
So I'm just going to take 2 minutes out just to mention a couple of things that are happening for the women in business, because we're sort of affiliated with that group. So I've got a pinned post here. If you're a woman out there and you want to join the Wairarapa Women in Business Facebook group, just search us up and ask to join, answer the 3 little questions, same where you are and what you want to get out of it. We'll let you into the group, and there's heaps and heaps of women in there. You can get lots of advice, and we promote each other's businesses. So it's well worth joining if you're a woman. So I've got Lisa Lee, and she's got a business called Pretty Pearls. And she's got she's great on the social media. She opens her pearls live, and what comes out goes in these little necklaces for people. So like whatever you get out of the oyster at that time is yours. So it's like a completely random, and they're beautiful colours. It's compulsive watching, and if you get into I've watched it a few times. So what she got an offer here that's $20 pick and mix night, which is on Wednesday night live at 7 p.m. So you can go over to prettypearls.co.nz. So find her Facebook page, work out when she's live, and you can buy that. It's also tomorrow is International Co-working Day, so it's free at 3 Mile Brass. That's my old brass group, 3 Mile, which is a co-working space, and so you can go down there, use the space for free. and try it out, see if it's for you. I wonder if they'd let me go in my PJs. That's what I do. I work from home in my PJs. No, I'm only joking. Also, we've got winter hours now for Carterton Farmers Market. It'd be a bit like Pack and Save, wouldn't it, if I went in my pyjamas? I don't think it would be pleasant for them.
That's the image I had.
I got sparkly slippers for Mother's Day. Bling slippers. I could go with my bling slippers.
Honey, a bit of bling goes a long way.
My Firefox pyjamas. Because I got tech pyjamas, because that's me. Okay, so now we've also got winter hours for Carterton Farmers Market, 9 till... That's tickled Sherry. Winter hours for Carterton Farmers Market. So you can go along 9 till 12. They might close early if it's cold, because it's pretty miserable in Wairarapa when the wind's whipping and you've got a southerly. But I've got a graphic here. It says that it's on the 10th, the 16th, the 24th of June, 8th of July, 22nd of July, 12th of August, 26th of August, 2nd of September and 9th of September. Those are the dates. There's a Saturday Carterton District Council night market on the 16th of June. And I think they've got a snow dome and all sorts of other good stuff happening down there. So that'll be quite interesting. Taboo Adult Boutique in Ekatahuna. I've got a 50% off clearance sale. So if you fancy getting a bit of that stuff, you can pop along. But they've also got a website, so you can contact them through that. And she's pretty good like that. And I think that's all I've got at the moment. I know that I've got a couple of... I've got a client who's relaunching her business. She does cosmetic acupuncture. Mm-hmm. So she's doing that cosmetic stuff, but she also does a lot of other things. She does massage and stuff like that. She's called Robin Mills. She's got an open day going on. I think it is in Johnson Street somewhere in Featherstone. But you can go along to Healing Therapy on Facebook, and it's all on there. There's an event, and it's just an open day. It's free, and you can win some treatments down in Featherstone. So that's worth going along to. And I know Atida, which is Jo Kempton. I don't know whether you know Jo. She's got some natural products that she's putting on a website, and she's launching her website at the end of the month. So that's happening. So lots of interesting things going on for the women in business. And you've got Teresa coming down. Mm-hmm. So that's invited people, though, is it really? At this stage,
just working for her to be known in the community with the other therapists.
But if you do want to see Teresa, she's got a website, ipcoach.co.nz, and she's currently in Tanui, but she's going to be doing this clinic over in Masterton. And Shane, how can we get in touch with you?
So basically, we're at 19 Castle Street.
Yes.
That's home, and just through the phone. I try and keep it really simple, so it's 022 064 9286 is my cell phone. And I've been encouraged to get a Facebook page up.
Are you being dragged kicking and streaming?
A little bit. I think a lot of it is just the unknown. And actually, I don't want to spend time on a computer.
Yeah,
no. So there's this little bit of a challenge, even with our phones. It's amazing how much time I spend. My little secretary is my phone.
But I think probably what you find as well in Wairarapa is that a lot of it is word of mouth.
It's fabulous, yeah. So I and also like I said, we were trying to feel our way. So it's not hurrying, trying not to feel so urgent about money and things like that, but actually enjoying the process and hopefully being true to myself and to Shari and Liv.
Yeah.
And learning as we go. So I called the business Shimmering Waters.
Yes.
And Wairarapa means glistening waters.
Yes, that's right.
That was the
that's
reason
nice
behind it.
That's nice. That
just seemed to sit well. So it was one of those.
So we've got down to, we've nearly done the whole hour. It goes so quickly, eh? And I wish I could do a 2-hour show. It's so lovely. But before we go, usually I say, have you got an inspirational message for women? But today I'm going to say for anyone, because we've got people watching on the TV and we've got Shane here. So have you, what message would you give for this week, rather than people starting out in business? Give somebody a positive message for this week. What should we focus on?
Something lovely is movement.
Movement, yeah.
So movement with breath. movement with, giving somebody a hug. Those sorts of things that we're quite a stoic culture.
Yes, right, yeah, right.
And intimacy is something that we all need, yet we close ourselves off. So
Yes.
a bit of movement, those sorts of, smile.
Yeah.
They're just such simple actions, but man, they can change something in somebody else
Exactly.
and ourselves.
I think that's right.
Passing on your loving wisdom and sharing, being willing to stop and share
Yeah.
when you sense something with people as well. And so whether it is that lovely embracing hug or just being that person to listen,
Yeah.
it's so important. We need more of those pausing moments.
We do.
Pausing moments just to give that person that moment, that time, that space
We do.
to be
breath.
that, take a deep breath and just be.
actually listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. And,
Yeah.
that's just it. One of the positive things about New Zealand is that they are actually more huggy in this country than in Britain. Yeah. I would get the amount of hugs I had on Saturday night, and I was like, I am sick. You don't want to get this, but no, and I really love that about New Zealanders, that they are more that way.
I wonder whether that's because we're quite diverse culture. There's so many cultures within our culture now.
Yeah.
It's great.
That's right, because British are all stiff upper lip, Oh, God, no, that doesn't affect me. Don't touch me. I still go to people's front door and knock here, and I won't go in until they because it's British. It's very British that you knock on the door and that you go to the front door. So until I know somebody and they've told me to go around the back, I will always knock at their front, and it perplexes me when they don't actually have a front door, because properties here don't always have a front door. Yes. So I'm like, oh.
This could be awkward.
Yes. Which door is it? And some have about 5 doors.
Yeah.
Let's
Go around knocking on all of them.
So like this. Is anybody here? Anyway, with that in mind, thank you very much for being fabulous guests. We've had Shari Joy Smith from Hot Yoga for You and Shane Orr from Shimmering Waters. Yes. And this programme is sponsored by Hot Yoga for You and Fussbox Designs. Thank you very much for that. You've been listening to 92.7 Arrow FM. Next week we've got Jonas and Catherine on. So we're going to have a music and speech next week. So we've got those. And we'll be here at the same time. And we're on Wairarapa TV, 12 o'clock, 5 o'clock and 11 o'clock. Oh, yeah, today and 6 o'clock tomorrow. So you can tune in to Wairarapa TV. So have a great week, everyone. Thank you to my guests for coming on, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Thanks, Nikki.
Thanks, Nikki. That was